Hi guys, welcome to Man Could Explain. My name is Kamil. Today is 28th of July 2020 and welcome to video number 214. Today I've talked with one of my friends and we had some history together, so we talked about a lot of things, just having fun. We talked about how this 2020 started and how crazy it is. We talked about some investments, stock market, gold, Russia, China, well, just having fun talking because he's a really intelligent guy. And then I kind of the day passed and I just started to think about what I'm going to talk today, to you about. And I started to think that so many things happened this year already. It's one of the most craziest years, probably all of us remember. But I started to think and ask myself, but what have we learned? So many things happened, and it's like it would be complete waste of time if you had completely no conclusions from what happened. Because if you look close enough, you could be kind of affected differently. Yeah, maybe you had some financial issues. Maybe as many psychologists say, there's tons of issues with families and with marriages and with partnerships because we were locked with each other for so long and we didn't expect that. What have you learned from that? Maybe you went through some huge changes, not maybe not really connected to financials, all of this, but maybe throughout that time you had some big changes in your life. What have you learned from that? Because one of the things that we kind of know but we don't do really nothing about it is that history repeats itself. And if you don't have this capacity to learn and this ability to kind of look back and have an idea what happened and what did I learn from this, you're gonna repeat it. That's simple. So I thought to myself, that's the first thing. What is the really thing that I've learned? So many things happened, but what did I really learn from this? And then the second thing is like what I'm going to do about it. And I've heard this quote. I don't know who coined it, but I really liked it. That hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I think it's like a military thing. But then, so if you have learned something, if you are aware what are the conclusions, what's your plan A? If everything is gonna go right, and let's say this whole thing just passed, and we're gonna start rebuilding this whole economic stuff, and the world we're gonna go forward. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about what you've learned, and how can you use this knowledge or this understanding that you gained to build something new, or to kind of to give yourself a perspective to have a better life? Maybe you see clearly now that you need to change something, you need to move, that you need to change your job. Maybe you want to get married. Maybe you want a kid. Whatever is your conclusion from that, how you're gonna approach it if everything is go fine. It's just all over. But then point number 3, what you gonna do if it's not over? Is when it's just the beginning. And I don't want to spook anyone, but it's like there already some countries are closing again. My friend from I think Arkansas, she told me that her town started closing again. And some people say that many people are afraid of that it's going to come back in this fall, this whole COVID thing and so on. Is that true? I don't know, and it's not really my point to kind of go through to the speculations right now. But I want you to kind of look at it from a really like a standpoint of like common sense. What if we're gonna be locked down again for 3 months or 5? Looking back on what happened, what would you do? What would you do different? If someone told, "Yep, there are plans. We're gonna close it, early October," how would you prepare? And I'm not talking about doom preppers, buying tons of food, but maybe it is. But maybe that's the thing that you want to think about. But then, like a very simple things. You've seen how your relationship worked. You've seen how you went through that as a family. What would you do different? What's your plan B? Maybe you want to buy more board games. Maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe you want to drive your bike as much as you can, because if we're going to be locked down, then and then fall, maybe that's the time right now. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family because you couldn't visit them, because some countries had a really severe lockdown. You see, the problem is that I don't want to really talk about COVID, but I want you to just look at it this way. If you're not thought what happened, and COVID was very important thing and very impactful, if you're not learn anything, you're gonna repeat it if this thing gonna come back again in this form on anything different. Because the whole thing is not about looking at this particular thing, but this ability, this way of living your life, to have this moments in time when you just stop and look back. Give yourself time to sit down, stop whatever you're doing, looking back and learning from it. Because then if you got plan A, let's say, this is over, let me just do this and that because I see that it's time and I would really want to build a new thing. I want to spend more time with my friends and really invest in, I don't know, photography. I want to spend more time making photos of people. Cool, do that. But then what's my plan B? If something goes wrong, how do I gonna spend another 3 months being close at home? How am I gonna deal with the relationship or relationships with my family, let's say? You see what I'm saying? Because this is what I want you to take from this video. The ability or to preventing making mistakes over and over again is kind of build upon your ability to learn from your past. And this introspectiveness is not something that you get, but it's something that you consciously do. So that's why you want to be able to sit down, look back in the past, and as I said a few videos ago, see at the last chapter that you just closed. What have you learned from this? What are your conclusions? And then how it's going to impact your future. What is your plan A and what is your plan B? What you're going to do when everything's going to go fine from now on, and what you're going to do if this thing is going to happen again, or something like this going to try to surprise you in years to come. If you want to not repeat your mistakes and be prepared for whatever is coming, just think about it and give yourself time to get some conclusions and prepare these plans. So think about it and do something about it, because time to do your homework is now. So don't waste it. If you liked this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, give me a shout as well. What do you think? What is your experience? And if you want me to talk about something, just DM me or comment or just contact me. I'll be glad to do it for you. And that being said, see you tomorrow.